So you're scrolling online, you see one of those all-in-one DIY phone repair kits, and you think, hey, I can do that. They look so easy, so promising, right? Well, before you even think about clicking Add to Cart, you need to watch this. We're going to pull back the curtain and show you what you actually need to fix your phone and how to avoid a total DIY disaster. And yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. Forget all that marketing fluff and the dozens of confusing options you see online. Our promise to you is simple. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which tools are must-haves, which ones are just kind of nice to have, and what you can totally skip. The goal here is to save you a ton of time, money, and a whole lot of frustration. But let's back up for a second. Why are so many of us even thinking about cracking open our own phones? Well, it really boils down to one thing, something you could call the high cost of helplessness. I mean, does this sound familiar? That horrible crunching sound, your screen shudders, you run to a repair shop, and bam, you're hit with this insane bill, and they tell you it'll be hours, maybe even days, till you get your phone back. It's that feeling, right? That feeling of being completely stuck, paying way too much for something you just know you could probably do yourself. That's what pushes us to try. And this is where the trap is laid. This is where so many people go wrong. You go online, you grab one of those cheap all-in-one kits, and it's a complete nightmare. The tools feel like they're from a toy set, they don't even have what you need for a modern phone, and you end up with a phone that's in worse shape than when you started. Honestly, it feels like these kits are almost designed to make you fail, so you give up and go running right back to those expensive repair shops. Okay, enough doom and gloom. We've talked about the problem, now let's build the solution. Together, right now, we're gonna put together your perfect, essential starter kit, piece by piece. This is how you get the job done right the first time. And just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got what they try to sell you, a bunch of useless tiny screwdrivers and maybe one flimsy plastic pry tool. And on the other side, what you actually need, the real game changers, a vacuum suction cup, some decent opening picks, a heat source, and anti-static tools. Let's break down exactly why each of these is so important. First up, the vacuum suction cup. Look, modern phones are basically glued shut with some seriously strong adhesive. If you just try to pry it open with force, you're pretty much guaranteed to crack the screen or the back glass. This little tool is the key. It gives you this gentle, even pulling force you need to create that first tiny gap so you can get inside safely. Seriously, this one is non-negotiable. Okay, so once that suction cup gives you a little opening, that's when these guys come in, the opening picks. The best way to think of them is like guitar picks, but for phone surgery. You slip one into that gap and just slide it all the way around the edge. What you're doing is slicing through that sticky adhesive, but you're doing it carefully without shredding the super delicate ribbon cables that are hiding right underneath. But what about that super stubborn adhesive? How do you make it let go? The secret weapon is heat. Now, a pro might use a dedicated heat gun, but here's a little secret, you probably already own what you need. A regular hairdryer, cranked up to its hottest setting, works perfectly. You just gently warm up the edges of the phone, and that industrial-strength glue softens right up. It makes the whole process like 10 times easier and a whole lot safer. Now listen up, because this next part is maybe the most important, and it's the one almost everyone skips. We're talking about static electricity. You can't see it, you can't feel it, but one tiny little shock from your body can instantly, permanently kill the motherboard of your phone. An anti-static wrist strap connects you to ground, making you safe, and using non-conductive tweezers means you won't accidentally zap a tiny component. This is without a doubt the cheapest insurance you will ever buy against breaking your phone. All right, so those are your core tools. That's what you need to get the phone open safely. But getting it open is only half the battle, right? To put it all back together and make it look like it was never opened, you're gonna need a few other essential things. Okay, first up, new adhesive strips. These are usually pre-cut for your specific phone model, and you need them to properly reseal everything and get some of that water resistance back. Whatever you do, don't try to reuse the old stretched out gunk. Next, isopropyl alcohol, and make sure it's high purity. It's the only thing you should be using to clean off all that old adhesive residue and greasy fingerprints. And finally, come on, after all that work, please protect your repair. Slap on a brand new screen protector and a good case. So maybe you've done your first screen or battery swap, and you're feeling pretty good about it. You're thinking, what's next? If you're ready to level up and tackle some of the more complex jobs, let's peek at a few tools the real pros keep on their workbench. You know those screws that are basically the size of a grain of sand? Yeah, a good magnifying lamp will literally save your eyes. A multimeter, that's a diagnostic tool. It lets you test things to figure out if it's the battery that's bad or if it's actually the charging port before you start ordering parts. And then there's the soldering iron. Now, this is for the real expert level stuff, like repairing individual components on the main board. It's definitely not for beginners, but it just shows you what's possible once you get really good. Okay, pay close attention, because this might just be the most important section of this whole thing. Look, having the right tools is huge. It's half the battle. But your success or failure really comes down to what you do before you even touch a single screw. Think of these as the 3 golden rules of DIY repair. Rule number 1, always, and I mean always, back up your phone. Your photos, your contacts, that stuff is irreplaceable. The phone isn't. Rule 2, get high-quality parts. I know it's tempting to save a few bucks on a cheap knockoff screen, but don't do it. The colors will be off, the touch will be laggy, and it'll probably break if you look in it wrong. It is never, ever worth it. And rule number 3, start small. Don't try to replace a charging port as your very first repair. Find an old phone, start with a simple battery or screen swap, and build your confidence up from there. And there you have it. The big secret to successful phone repair isn't some magic all-in-one kit. It's having the right tools for the job and doing the right prep work. You now know everything you need to build a toolkit that actually works. So the only question left is, are you ready to finally stop scrolling and start fixing?
Wang, tell us about your recent phone repair.
David was super professional. He fixed my Galaxy Z Flip 4 in an hour. I literally walked in broken and walked out perfectly fixed.
Yeah, highly recommend.
If you have mobile phones issue, you can walk in. We're open Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. 6 p.m. and Saturday, 10 a.m. 2 p.m.